So today I want to introduce exactly what is a monster gravel bike. I'm gonna present you the open wide frame set that I've built for the last Peruvian expedition that I've done, which was by far the most engaged expedition that I've ever done on a bicycle. It's mostly a mountain bike terrain, and the idea was to find out whether there was a bicycle, and a gravel bicycle specifically, able to tackle a mountain bike terrain. So monster gravel is basically taking the gravel concept to its extreme by allowing first incredible tire clearance, which is the case of the open wide. So thanks to some specific geometry, Open managed to allow up to 2.4 inches, so around more than 60 millimeters width of tires on a 27.5 wheel set. And that's the most important difference between a regular gravel bike, where you will hardly, on most cases, be able to fit anything above 46 millimeters for 700C wheels, or 2.1 inches, so around 50 millimeters tires. So the main difference from a regular gravel bike and a monster gravel like the wide is that you are able to do almost whatever you want in terms of terrain, thanks to the tires that you can put. 2.4 inches allow you to tackle this kind of terrain, rocky, and you use the tires and the tire pressure as a suspension, which allow you to get some comfort without a suspension and without using, for instance, a regular mountain bike. The second thing about a monster gravel bike is that you can fit extreme gear ratio. So that's what I've done in Peru with this open wide. I've put a rotor group set, the Uno, which allow to put a 52 cassette, 1152 on a 12-speed configuration, with a 36 oval ring in the front. So with this kind of configuration, I can pretty much tackle any kind of terrain in terms of elevation, obviously, steepness of the climb, and this has been tested in Peru with 15 to 20% inclined terrain and super high altitude where the power output is very low. Third element of what I call a monster gravel bike is definitely the handlebar. I had on social networks a few questions from people asking why I'm using such a wide handlebar. It's mostly for two reasons. It allows to put a very large bike packing bag in the front without damaging or putting constraint on the cables for the brakes. And the second point, which is the most important one, is that you have more control when you're going downhill, especially with different hands position, and you can keep the control of the bike whatever the situation is and change positions thanks to a very large handlebar. Just to give you an idea, I've ridden the entire Peruvian Great Divide, which is the toughest thing that I've ever done so far on a bike. It's around 2,000 kilometers and 40,000 meters of elevation gain at super high altitude, above 4,000 meters in Peru, with this bike, this handlebar, and my front brake was broken due to a bike fall. Thanks to the handling of this kind of handlebar, and thanks to the powerful rear brake system that I had from Magura, I had no issues at all to maintain stability and be able to ride the bike on the tough terrain. So this is a monster gravel bike. Three main points that are a big difference from a regular gravel bike that you can find on the market. First one is tire clearance. Second one is the gear ratio that you can put on the frame. And the third one is the handlebar configuration designed for extreme terrain. That's for me the key things that are making a big difference from what you see in the market so far, with road bikes that are turned into gravel bikes and that are not really fitting that need of getting off the beaten tracks. With this kind of configuration, you can go pretty much anywhere, almost on mountain bike terrain. Make sure to follow the channel, give a thumb up if you like that tutorial. Feel free to ask any questions that you want or that you might have around this bike configuration or any subject regarding gravel and ultra distance cycling. See you on the road.